Okay, here we go. We are starting the fifth parak in Chelik Sheni, and now he's going to go get a little bit more granular in describing how Hashgacha works. We described that God oversees the world, that we know. But how does it work? He's going to explain to us, give us a little bit more insight into the system itself. So we'll just jump to Beis. We'll just jump around a tiny bit. So if you look at Os Beis, he says, Bashkafasu Yisbarach, Kvar Yadanu Shizbarach Shema Yodea Kol. When we think of God's perspective, we already know that God knows everything. Then Etzlo Chisoni Diaklal. There's no lack of knowledge. Lo ba'asid, lo ba'hove, lo ba'aver. Not in the past, the present, or the past, present. Okay, he says the opposite, right? Now the future, present, or past. Everything is completely open in front of God. There's nothing hidden from God's knowledge. And everything that is in existence is open and revealed before Him. And God understands it and knows it in every one of its levels. And again, there's nothing hidden from Him. However, we describe it as God is looking at the matters. Mashu danosam, though by describing the way that God judges them. V'gozer aleim gzeros mugvalos b'gvul hazman sheyirtzah chad sham behem, and that God decrees within the appropriate time. So what he's describing is as follows: on the one hand, Hashem knows everything, so it's almost like you could argue it's almost like a joke. Like why have this whole system if God knows where things are going to go and where things are going to lead? But he says, yeah, on the one hand, God knows everything, and at the same time, there is a system that God allows cause and effect to take place. That I do something right, and there's going to be an effect, and then God is only then going to allow it to trigger something good, even though it's not necessary. In other words, in a world that you and I live in, we need someone to, something to do something, and then we're going to have there's an event, and then there's a response to that event, because we don't know what that first event is going to be. So I need to wait to see what is my friend going to choose. If they choose A, I'm going to do something in response to that. If they choose B, I'm going to do something in response to that. From God's perspective, you don't need that. God knows what's going to be. Nonetheless, that is how God created the world, where even though He knows what's going to take place, He allows the system to run its course. Okay? And then He goes a little bit further. If you go to Os Gimel, the second paragraph, the way it works is that God influences an angel. Okay? And then the angel goes and influences the angel underneath. So when God decides to do something based on the system that God created, He first influences the highest level of angels, and then that angel influences the next angel under him. And then all the way down, level after level after level after level after level, until that lowest angel is able to bring about that reality in existence. Some describe it as like a pipe, an actual pipe that God, so to speak, puts this influence, and then it goes down, 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 down. He describes it as there are levels of angels, and basically God kind of initiates the first angel who initiates the second angel, etc., and then things happen. Nonetheless, it's not that God empowers the angel then walks away, that constant empowerment of each level of angel still comes from God. God in His power maintains and sustains all of creations and all of those levels, each level according to its need. Okay? Nonetheless, the way that God runs the world is that there are levels. Did we speak about plugging your cell phone into a nuclear reactor at one point? I think we did. And that's the reason behind the levels. But nonetheless, that is the way the system works. God knows, God controls, but God still works within the system of time and does not deal directly, but with all of mankind, but rather influences the world through the angelic system that He created.